gentlemen, boys and girls, cardaholics of all ages, welcome back to Big House Cards, and thank you so much for watching. And in today's video, I'm going to get a little controversial. Everything that I'm about to say in this video is my opinion. You are welcome to agree with it. You're welcome to disagree with it. I know that's a great way to set up a video, but I want to give my report card for how I think Fanatics and Topps did in their full first year of Fanatics owning Topps and making sports cards. So I'm going to talk about what I think was good. I'm going to talk about what I think was not so good, and what I think that Fanatics needs to do to improve. Michael Rubin, the CEO of Fanatics, owner, whatever you want to call him, has said that they are listening to feedback. So, hi Fanatics. If you guys are watching this, nice to see you here. I really appreciate you checking it out. I'm going to give my honest opinion, and I'm going to be as kind as possible in doing so. I don't think that there is a point in being crude in your commentary. So I'm going to try to keep it polite, and I really hope that you guys listen to and improve upon this feedback. So without any further ado, let's talk about some of the good. One of the things that I really appreciated this year was the design work in a lot of cards. Was everything perfect? No, but I really appreciated a lot of the effort that went into a lot of the designs, and I think no design was better than flagship. So this was the flagship design this year for Topps, and this is a Vlad Guerrero Jr. Black 272. I've always appreciated having the player in the bottom corner. I think when I first saw it, it was a little bit busy, but then as I actually held the cards in hand, I'm like, you know what, I actually like these. It really adds a personalization touch to every player, even the players that you might not necessarily know, like the relief players, the utility men. So I really liked that. It translated very well to Chrome. So this Volpe purple rookie to 250, it's absolutely stunning, and I really like the design with it. So I thought the flagship design was great. I thought the Bowman design was great. Heritage really can't mess up. Archives really can't mess up because those are already done. So it's just translating them over pretty effectively. The Topps Now design I thought was pretty good. It let the photography speak for itself. So in the 2023 releases that we did get, I really felt like the design work was pretty good. I also really appreciated a lot of what they did with Topps Now, specifically as it relates to the celebrity integrations. So one of my favorite cards that I picked up this year, and yes, I am going to submit this for grading, was a Topps Now of Unofficial, aka Topanga from Boy Meets World, one of my favorite shows of all time. She threw out the first pitch at a Phillies game, and they made a Topps Now card of her, and they even made autograph cards, which I unfortunately missed out on, and is going to be one of my first purchases of 2024. Mark my words. But I really appreciated that they had a card of her. They had a card of Stephen A. Smith's first pitch. They had a card of Victor Wembanyama's first pitch. They had a lot of first pitch cards, and I think I'd like to see more of that, personally. I think it'd be really cool to have an ongoing Topps Now first pitch series. That's just me. I really like the integration of celebrity and sport in this kind of way. So more of this, please. More of it. Get some WWE superstars on there. The LA Knight first pitch card would have been massive. But that's just my opinion. So the design work was great. The celebrity integrations with the Topps Now was great. Let's talk about some of the negatives. Number one, a lot of the quality control issues that people had. Just because the design on flagship looks good doesn't necessarily mean that all of them are going to be perfectly centered or perfectly cut and the corners are going to be perfect, right? It's not going to happen. And some of that is just attributed to factory error, right? But when every Anthony Volpe gold that I see on eBay is off-centered left to right, then something was wrong. That's kind of just how it is. When you have Bowman Chrome and you have this massive debacle when it comes to the superfractors, then something's wrong. I've pulled packs, or I've opened packs that had some damaged cards, really badly cut cards. It hasn't been perfect. I think that there's room for improvement with this being the first year. Obviously, I hope that things can only go up from here. So quality control, I would say, is my number one thing that I think you can improve on. Number two, and maybe this is more of a sticking point that isn't going to go away, but I'm just going to give my opinion on it anyway. The the catering to breakers, or the seeming catering to breakers, not everybody is into breaking. I'm not against breaking by any stretch of the imagination. I love watching Run Good and Hitman and Shy City do breaks on their YouTube channel. It gets me through my normal job, right? It's great background noise. It's nice to tune in to see hits. I'm not against breaking by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't do it, right? And I feel like that is, for many people, their actual opinion on breaking. But the issue that people have with breakers is that a lot of them, I shouldn't say a lot of them, some of them, that's better, have gotten away with practically stealing cards, have gotten away with just a lot. And it's left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. Especially whatnot breakers, and there really hasn't, to my knowledge, that's the main area, right? But when you have this aura about breaking that there's a high probability of being scammed, then people aren't exactly going to be for breaking. Again, the concept itself isn't bad, but because there's a negative connotation with breaking that cards are going to get stolen, then it is going to cause a more, I would say, the perception that people are against breaking. So when Michael Rubin, when you say that people who don't like breaking are just not realistic, I would like to refer back to this point. We're not against breaking per se. We're trying to separate the bad breakers from the good breakers. But then the issue that I have is that there's just this huge push for it. Listen, not everybody wants to do it. I don't think, there's nothing wrong with the Breaker's Delight product, because it is a product that is more designed for breakers. I have no problem with that. And I have no problem that they're opening it. But I would like to see that as an option be available to the public. If I want to pay $300 for a Topps Chrome Breaker's Delight box and just rip it myself, why not? Right? I feel like you could really benefit from having a larger section of those breaker exclusive products, if I can put it that way, and moving it off to the side so that the general public can buy it if they so choose to do so. You know, if you got to supply your breakers with Breaker Delight products, it makes sense. It's in the name. But I know people who would like to actually just rip a box or two of Breaker's Delight. It's a quick rip. You get the hits. I feel like that would be a beneficial business move, because you could get more money from the general public than from the breakers who have to mark it up, right? So that's just my thought on that. Again, the product itself is not bad. Breaking itself is not bad, but understand that not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody wants to be involved in breaks, and they'll just rip it themselves. For me personally, I don't want another person handling my cards. I'd rather just do it myself. So if I want to buy a Breaker's Delight box, sell me a Breaker's Delight box. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I also would like to put forth that retail, I understand that retail is just going to be watered down. But if that's the case and there's no incentive for people to buy it, then why is the price still high on some of this? Why is Topps Chrome $35 a blaster? I mean, yeah, I understand that people are buying it, but they're buying it because you have this MVP chase associated with it. If you had, like, Bowman blasters were 30, at least in my Walmart. Topps flagship was 27 at Walmart. There's not really a huge incentive to buy retail if there's not a better chance of getting decent hits out of it. So it is just going to sit. If you were to walk into my Walmart, you would see literally 2 full cases, like the 2 pallets or whatever you want to call them, of Topps Update hanger boxes. Nobody's touched them. I would like to see a return to having the odds on the actual box instead of on a thing on your website. I think it'd be a better idea just to have it even more transparent. Just put it right on the box. I don't know why that change was made. I'm not a big fan of it. But I'm not saying you need to load up retail. That's not the case. But I think that there needs to be a better incentive to actually buy it and pay more for it, because right now you walk into any Walmart and Target and a lot of product just sits. So again, that does depend on your location, but a lot of products just end up sitting for quite some time, and then they end up going on clearance, and then what, right? I mean, if I were to walk into a Meijer, if I were back in the Midwest, I remember last January I was visiting Chicago, and I walked into a couple Meijers. fully stocked with stuff. Like, it was an unbelievable amount of cards. The prices were just too high. I feel like retail needs to come down a little bit. I don't think it's going to happen because you don't really see companies lower prices on product. You see them raise it all the time, but lowering it, I don't know. But I would like to see it happen because I feel like then you are actually going to see a return of a higher sales of retail sports cards, because right now it's just sitting everywhere. I couple that with better chances of getting something out of it. I mean, there's no reason that I should take 36 Topps Series 1 hangers just to get a single gold. You know what I mean? A gold. And it's probably going to be a some relief pitcher for the Cubs. No offense, Cubs fans. So it's just like there's ways to improve retail without making it completely watered down. And I would like you to be able to find that, because a lot of people buy retail. And yeah, there's this, you're just buying it for the base cards, but sometimes it's nice to get a big hit out of retail. If you've never watched If Sports and his retail top 10 every month, you can get some big cards out of retail. I'd like to see that return. But overall, because I didn't rip as much as I usually do, I feel like there's not a ton that I can really say about the product itself. I mean, I think they did an okay job, but there's a lot of room for improvement. So if I'm being completely honest, the grade I would give would probably be a C minus, maybe a D plus if I'm feeling really mad. But I think overall it was kind of just average, barely below average. There's a lot that can be done. It was kind of just an average collecting year. Nothing really exciting. I spent more on singles than I did on boxes. So I'd like to see that switch up, but that's because I like ripping. I think more people should buy singles anyway, but that's just me. But I think a C minus is fair. That's just my opinion. You're welcome to disagree with it. And I would like to hear what you guys think of what Fanatics did in the comments below. And Fanatics, if you're listening, I love the hobby. I want to see the hobby grow just as much as you do. I think there's a better way to go about it. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I would like to help however I can. So if I can be of help, please let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, please leave a comment giving me your thoughts on how Fanatics did this year. Please leave a like. It helps the video out. It helps to push it out to more people. Please subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, bye-bye.